Hello, lovely Form 1s. I welcome you to the second lesson of our topic, Citizenship and Human Rights. Now, what are we learning today? We are going to learn what human rights abuse is, groups that suffer human rights abuse in Ghana, ways by which human rights abuse occur in Ghana, and then reasons why people suffer human rights abuse. Also, we're also going to look at state institutions that help to protect or prevent people from being abused. And then also look at ways of preventing human rights abuse in Ghana. So that is what we are going to learn for today. Without wasting much time, let's start. Now, let's talk about human rights abuse. Human rights abuse. The human rights abuse says it is a violation or infringement on the rights and freedoms of an individual. When somebody bullies you, somebody slaps you for no crime committed, when somebody abuses you, we say it is a human rights abuse. So once you have your rights, you have a freedom. Once somebody tramples on the freedoms or on the rights, you say it's a human rights abuse. So we say that human rights abuse is a violation or the infringement on the rights and freedoms of an individual. Now let's move on here. It says that groups which suffer human rights abuse in Ghana, the vulnerable people, both people that are easily abused in Ghana. Listen carefully, I said what? There are different kinds of people that have the right and they are abused. But there are specific people that they are easily abused. They are very vulnerable people, and therefore people abuse them easily. Let's look at something here. Children, for example, are easily abused in Ghana. We have women, we have the poor in the society, persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities, we say physically handicapped. Physically handicapped, or persons with disabilities. They are also easily abused. The next one is the illiterates, the uneducated. Those who that's excuse me to say they never attended any school. They are also easily abused. And foreigners are also abused as they are foreigners. They don't know the rules, they don't know the law in the country. So people easily abuse them. Another one is the minority groups in our societies. You go to a society whereby it is ever dominated with few other tribes. If care is not taken, because the Ewes are more than the other ethnic group, they may end up abusing them. Okay, then let's move on here. Now we go to the examples of human rights institutions in Ghana. Institutions in Ghana that are helping to prevent human rights abuse. We have Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, that is DAFSU. We also have Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SRAJ. We have Amnesty International. We have NCCE, the National Commission on Civic Education, and they have FIDA, that's the International Federation of Women Lawyers. Listen, you write them in full form. So listen, I said what? International Federation of Women Lawyers. That's the meaning of what? FIDA. So these are examples of state institutions helping to protect people from being abused. Okay, let's move on. It's getting interesting. Now let's go to the ways by which human rights abuse occur in Ghana, or forms of human rights abuse. Forms of human rights abuse, or ways by which people's rights are abused. Well, through domestic slavery, people are employed as maids and all that, and they are made to do certain things which is above them. Child trafficking, you take somebody's child, then you sell it to another place, you sell a child to another person to work with. Sex trade or prostitution. Young girls are employed by some old women, and what they use them for is for prostitution. In that way, you are abusing the rights of the child, or the freedom of the child. So we have child deferment, whereby a child very low of 16 years below and a grown-up man has sexual intercourse with that child, the child has been deferred. There are also child labor, allow a child to do a work that is above his limit, his or her limit. Now, violence against women. Violence against women is also a form of what? Human rights abuse. So these are examples or the forms of what? Human rights abuse you have in Ghana. We must all do our best to bring an end to the following, because they are all bad what? Practices. Now, reasons why people suffer human rights abuse. Why? Why are people abused? One, they say low level of education or illiteracy. They have no knowledge about their what? Right to. They have no knowledge about human rights. They don't know because they are not educated. So they don't even know something called human rights exists. So it says low level of education. Some have education a little, but not about human rights. Or some to say they are totally illiterate. Why people suffer human rights abuse? One is what? Another one is what? Due to what? Poverty. Due to what? Poverty. And then fear and what? Ignorance. Fear and what? Ignorance. Due to what? We say due to poverty, some people, are very poor. So because of that, people take advantage and they what? Abuse them. Another one is fear and ignorance. People fear. People fear. They fear to ask for their rights. And not that they are only afraid, they are also ignorant. They don't even know that they're supposed to ask as a result of fear and ignorance. People also are abused as a result of greed or lack of sympathy. Some people abuse others because they don't have sympathy for them. Or we say they are greedy. Somebody will abuse you because the person is greedy. Or the person doesn't have any sympathy for you. And therefore the person take advantage of you and abuse you. Now, another reason why people are also abused in Ghana is what? Loss of confidence in the judicial system. People don't have interest in the judicial or the courts. And because of that, when I go to court, they will leave him. So, if you have been slapped, probably I will give it to God. I'll give it to God. Because when I go to court to cry, it is just be a waste of time. And I don't even have money to go and file this case in court. So, I'll give it to God. So, I say, give it to God or attitude. Forgive me, okay? Now, let's continue. Ways of preventing human rights abuse. Now we know why people are abused. Now let's go to ways of preventing it. There must be public education on fundamental human rights and freedom. People must be educated to know what we call basic human rights and freedoms. Now it says that violators or offenders must be exposed and punished. No criminal must be protected. It is wrong to protect a criminal. If you know somebody is a criminal or has offended or violated somebody's right, let that person be exposed and then be punished according to the law. It says, making formal education more accessible to the citizenry. Education should be made more accessible. Anyone who is ready to go to school should be given an opportunity to go to school. And from that, the person will know his or her rights. And the last one I have here is that it says, independent court to settle all abuses without fear or favor. There must be independent court. The court must be independent to settle all abuses without fear or favor. There shouldn't be favor. If a child has been deferred, the court must deal with that person. Okay? Now, earlier on, we mentioned some state institutions that are helping to protect or prevent people from being abused. We are taking one to discuss. We are taking DASU, which is Domestic Violence and Victim Support Units. Domestic Violence and Victim Support Units. Let me give a little background here. Now, initially, it was used to be called WAJU. WAJU. That is Women and Juvenile Units. it was taking care of only women and then children. And it was called Waju. And they realized that it was limited. It was limited to only children and the women. There was the need to expand it. So on 26 October 1998, DAPSU was set up. And DAPSU is a unit under the Ghana Police Service. So we say that DAPSU is a unit under the Ghana Police Service. So those people working there, a lot of them are policemen and women. Now, what do they deal with? Now, the DAPSU, it deals with all forms of domestic violence against men, women, and children. As I told you, I said initially it was WAJU, which is Women and Juvenile Unit. And that means they were only dealing with cases involving women and children. Now, there was the need to change it because everybody's right can be abused. So there was the need. And it was changed from WAJU to DAPSU, which is Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit. And we are saying that they deal with all forms of domestic violence against women, men, and children. See, men are also taken care of now. Now, what cases do they deal with? Types of cases dealt by DAPSU. Types of cases handled. Cases that can be reported to DAPSU. Mind you, as a child, if you are, unfortunately, you are abusing any of the following forms, report to appropriate to your unit, which is DAPSU, Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit. You have rape, incest, child abuse, defilement, criminal or illegal abortion. Don't think you are free. If you commit any illegal abortion, you can be sent to DAPSU and the law will deal with you. Threat on a spouse, that the husband or wife threatening the husband or the wife, that one can be reported to DAPSU. Don't sit down there and keep quiet because before you know you are dead. Physical assault, that is can be verbal or bullying, hitting the person up and down, or verbal assault, that is insulting the person. That one too is considered as an abuse. So somebody can report you to DAPSU for insulting more head. And then child trafficking, you take somebody's child, then send the child to somewhere, to sell the child to somebody for the person to work with. This case can also be reported to DAPSU. And then unnatural carnal knowledge, which the world is facing, is a big problem the world is facing now. You say unnatural carnal knowledge. That it has to do with homosexuality, lesbianism. These are all satanic things. As Christians, we don't accept. But do you know that the Constitution of Ghana is against it? The Constitution of Ghana is against homosexuality. And if you know anybody, you can report the person to DAPSU, and DAPSU will deal with that person because it's against the Constitution of Ghana. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Waiting to meet you in our next video. Bye-bye.